And we are live from Cambridge, Massachusetts, the intellectual center, the capital city of the worldwide internet movement. I've just come out, friends. This is Dr. Jeffrey Lant. I've been out and about in Cambridge looking, absorbing my environment where I've been for so many years. I've lived in Cambridge now since the fall of 1969. It's a long time. I love this place of craziness, its ideas, its weird diversity, its crazy notions. I love the whole mad shebang. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Lant, and I am a happy camper today. I am just finishing up my 20th book, my autobiography. It's the most unusual book. I've never seen a book like this before. I've never written one before. This is my 20th book. My sidekick today is Dale Thompson from New Jersey. Good afternoon, Dale. Glad to have you aboard today on this very, very special day.
That is quite an undertaking.
Indeed, it was.
Your life story. I mean, that encompasses one heck of an.
So many stories didn't make it because there just wasn't no space for them. Now, were you able to find the book? Let's see. So, did you get the
book? Yes,
yeah,
of
course
I will.
You will. Did you get a hold of that article on Fleet Street?
I have. Yes.
I want to talk today about something without which you cannot succeed, and that is ironclad commitment, determination, and grit. One of the sad things that I see about the internet is people who want instant wealth and do nothing. It ain't going to happen. You're chipping yourself and chipping your colleagues. If you think that you can succeed to make money without work, you're crazy. That which differentiates my partners, George Carr, Cindy Hunter, and me, is ironclad grit. We worked this business when there was nothing here. When we came to the internet 23 years ago and some, nothing that you see here even existed. We didn't close shop and think about it and ask our mothers if we could do it and make sure our dog was happy. George said to me upon my asking, the one significant question I wanted to answer was, is there any money in this thing? More than you could ever imagine, he said. And that's true. We're going to talk about that today, but we're going to start this program because my voice is still rather wonky and I want to keep some of it. I'm going to ask Dale Thompson to read a story which will define where I'm coming from for the next phase of Worldprofit, the reality television phase. Now, this may not happen in a day, a month, or even a year, but it will happen because I will tell you why it's going to happen. And the proposal is already written. Not only is it written, it's live. And Patrice Porter has it, and I said to her when it was done, there was some anxiety. I said, is it good? She said, it's terrific. So now we have a proposal of exactly what it would be like. And I will do one more proposal of the nitty-gritty, how it would actually function from my vantage point and see whether. And Patrice says, they'll be at, good. You can put that on the screen. Dale, I want you to read the article as if you were a young man on the make, because you are a young man on the make. Read this article as if you meant it. This was why there is a 20th book. This is why there were so many thousands of articles. This is why I was involved in Worldprofit. It's all in this article and what I did, my encounter with Fleet Street, the center of journalism in the United Kingdom. Dale, read away.
Value and necessity for persistence if you expect to be successful. Author's program note. Winston Churchill, who left the world so many memorable lines, said this one too. No young man should ever take no for an answer, allowing for the fact that these days young man would never be changed to young person.
What would have to be changed? It would have to be changed to not never, but it would absolutely have to be changed.
What he said is as relevant today as ever was, not least because of the challenge USA, Europe, the world. Sadly, though, I sound like an old fogey for saying it. Today's young people take no for an answer all the time, seeming to expect it, and certainly having little or no inkling of hits them in the face. This is a problem indeed, calling for immediate scrutiny and action. Set the scene for this article, which can, kept and used, change your life for the better over and over again. Go to any search engine and find the tune True Grit, composed by Elmer Bernstein for John Wayne's 1969. Persistence, unwavering determination in the face of obstacles, big and small, is what true grit means. And that's why, even in our adulterated, it is in such short supply. London, September 1977. Your author, in a single day, teams the unalloyed value and usefulness of London, summer 1977. Your author, in a single day, learns the usefulness of persistence.
You want some help?
Oh, I've got it. London, it was 1977. London was packed with folks from everywhere who had come to find the England of their dreams and memories, and to see it, and to see H.M., the Queen, celebrating, along with her husband, always a step behind, Philip of Edinburgh, her silver jubilee, 25 years of her mostly happy and glorious reign. I was there, too, but not to gawk. I had serious business I meant to transact, if I could find anyone willing to transact it with me. Young, green, situation. In 1977, I was a newly minted PhD of well under 1,000 days. My credentials, including that PhD from Harvard, were impeccable. That and 50 cents, said my ever-practical, gets you a cup of coffee. I took his point, not least because 1977 was the year of recession, where would be a junior professor's was a year of recession, where would-be junior professors from even the best universities were having a very difficult time getting jobs, much less jobs they liked. I knew that only too well. Employers, academic or otherwise, did what employers always do in such situations if left unobserved. They raised the level of qualifications required, slashed the salary as much as. That is why I was in London, to turn myself into the kind of gilt-edged property even the most supercilious of institutions would rush to recruit. My strategy went something like this. Take my Harvard doctoral dissertation and cannibalize it for articles that could be sold to appropriate popular publications, as well as published by appropriate. Once the articles were published, I used these to convince an appropriate publisher of my dreams, and I knew who they were. That I, as a first-time book author, were worth the money they'd have to invest along, and my book publishing group. published articles and first book, remember, the first of many, to leverage a suitable position at a suitable short, sweet piece of cake. Not. First challenge requiring persistence involved the cannibalization of my dissertation. Mind for two very different kinds of publication. Popular, such as newspaper, and academic. I wanted to publish at least 10 to 15 popular articles from what some, with consummate snobbery, call ephemeral publications, and an equal number for academic journals bearing lofty names and high credentials, but few readers. By pursuing this two-pronged strategy, I got maximum value from the dissertation and launching pad for my publishing career. Nobel Prize to literature, which must, in due time. Still waiting. Writing the articles, researching where to send them, organizing an efficient production. Well begun is half done, we say in New England, and fortunately for me, the dissertation titled Queen Victoria's Golden Heaven, covering the creation and perfection of English royal pageantry, covers events known, attended, and loved by millions of people. This apt selection of subject made the achievement of my objective more likely than those who had selected. Recondite. I wanted fame, acclaim, and all the trimmings therefrom, and selected my subject accordingly. I confess now, but never would then, that this was demanding and needed discipline, focus, and persistence. It also required at least a one-way ticket from Boston, Massachusetts to London, for you see, the overwhelming majority of these publications were there. Money being tight, I worked hard to get it. I won't say I resorted to cutting grass and babysitting, but it was close. This is why, on a sweltering day, so hot, English mates stripped, thereby exposing the whitest of flesh. That is why I say I was standing on Fleet Street, my lengthy list of publications in hand, poised to enter the Daily Telegraph and ascend and ascendant celebrity. Confident pipe dream lasted for 5 minutes, maybe less. No, the features editor wasn't in. What's more, if she were, she wouldn't see you anyway. Harvard man that you claim to be? Yes, this mere receptionist all but kicked me out, shouting, "Get out, magnet!" I was shocked, and it was but the prelude to a very, very long day of being turned down by newspaper, great, mediocre, provincial, many of which I had thought only that morning, too, beneath my superior notice. Ah, how the mighty have fallen. So it went, with only fellow countryman Johnny Apple of the New York Times agreeing to see me. He was a true gentleman. So it went, with only fellow countryman Johnny Apple of the New York Times. He was a true gentleman. He was the late Johnny, for all that he told me in the night that hell would freeze over, not least Here, New York Times was paying him luck. That is, so it went until at last I was at the end of earth with a dollop of self-pity, I'm sure. So I entered the offices of the Associated Press, London, one of the most important journalistic operatives on earth. There I commenced to tell my story to a clerk who had the power to crush half my available prospects, a giant to a fly. Then, a disembodied voice bouncing off the wall. Say your name is Jeffrey, and you're from Massachusetts. It was as if the voice of God, less time than it takes me to tell you, hipper person before me with a look terrible. My benefactors, come in and tell me what's on your mind. But which only his good nature and courtesy. But from this encounter, which so easily might not have occurred, everything else ensued. Porter Jeffrey, whose surname I too, everlasting chagrin, long ago misplaced, published a story titled "A Massachusetts Yankee in Queen Victoria." A marvelous story, a story of intelligence and timely. Well written, too. And this story ran everywhere on the planet, thanks to the giant. But I have one more place to go, the Times. The paper Charles Dickens dubbed the Thunderer. And here again, Nirvana for the features editor saw me. New AP reporter Jeffrey was indeed from Massachusetts and told me to prepare one article for her perusal. It was on her desk the next day and accepted at once, the first of 5 articles bought by the Times and syndicated to the world. Articles which my soon-to-be editor, Roger Mashel, read in his office at Hamlish Hamilton, that exquisite house I so long, thanks to my AP benefactor. How I would like to see that man again, take his hand, for he and my own persistence.
I went to a food court for lunch. I hardly ever do that. And what did I see? I saw an ocean of people in service, low-paying service businesses, making minimum wage. How the hell are they going to live on that, I want to know. How could they possibly make the living go on Social Security? Whatever Walmart's going to pay. Because it's going to be Walmart's Social Security, and your job is in the food court. You're going to be 65 years old, and you're going to say, what the hell did I do wrong? You failure to listen to the end of my article is the problem.
Even there.
And I'm going to read about something that I have in oodles, and you guys got not, all of you put together haven't got what I've got. Determination to get rich. You tell me you want to make money, but I tell you you don't. And I'm going to read you this. My father said, he said, told me that success comes in a remarkable form called work. I'm going to read you from this. There's a young man named Jeffrey.
Out of the video room.
William, I can't help you unless you watch that whole thing. And this is what I mean. The man won't invest 8 minutes in his future, and he expects me to pull a rabbit out of a hat. He'll expect me to pull a whole bunch of rabbits out of a hat. People, do what you got to do to make money, but don't tell me you're more adequate at it than I am, because I won't believe you. I'm going to read you this. Now, do you have anything to say before I read? I don't want to be interrupted. Do you have anything to add? To anyone in the world? Your mother, your stepfather, your goats in the backyard? Anybody in particular? The girl you dated in 8th grade? Anybody want to interrupt me? Interrupt me now! Or don't want to interrupt me at all. There was at the other end of that long Fleet Street. You got to picture Fleet Street was a very long street, and all the media of the whole world was congregated on that street. It was gold mine. It was nirvana for our journalists. And I've had the good fortune to bump into this fellow named Jeffrey, who's from Massachusetts. What are the odds of that happening? And he poked his head around the room divider, and he said, "You look terrible. Come in and sit down and tell me why you're here. What are you doing here with us?" I'm telling you, if you didn't believe in the God, you'd believe in him right then. "You look terrible," my benefactor said. "Come in and tell me what's on your mind." And I did to a length which only his good nature and courtesy would have excused. But from this encounter, which so easily might not have occurred, everything else ensued. My first book contract was a result of that encounter. 5 major articles in the center of the Times. At the Times of those days, you open it up, it was big pages. The whole flaming empire was reading my articles. And then they were syndicated through the Irish Times and the American papers. How did it happen? Because I didn't give up when the Telegraph threw me out. I didn't give up. And Johnny Apple, in the nicest possible way, who was quite a gentleman, our Johnny, he threw me out. And Harvard people are not used to being thrown out. But I kept at it, and I wonder how many of you would have kept at it. I'll give you another example of persistence. When George Kosh came up with the idea of what became Worldprofit, I asked him that one question, is there any money in this thing? He said yes, but he also told me this: "I'm offering you nothing. I'm promising you nothing except hard work. I'm promising you the work that will maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. There are no models. Nobody's making any money from the internet, so I don't know whether we can do it or not." He offered me a summary that was positively Churchillian. And we shall fight them on the beaches, and we shall fight them on, get the picture. George Kosh offered nothing but misery, sweat, and tears, and HTML, which is worse than all of them put together. He's never lied to me. He's never sugarcoated the pill. He can't understand, and I can't understand, and Dale can't understand why so many of you do absolutely nothing and expect to be rich. I am a wealthy man. I'm the one person in this room who doesn't need to be in this room. And I'm here, and my motto is more. And I'm here to help people who are sincere. And I tell you, the sincerity quotient is almost nothing. So it's time to up the ante here. I'm going to do a Fleet Street. I'm going to do it in reality television terms. And I'm going to beat on those doors, and when they say, "Get out, maggot!" And now I'm a 70-year-old maggot. I'm no longer the 30-year-old maggot. I've put on a few pounds and a few years and a few gray hairs. And I'm going to be thrown out. And I'm looking forward to being thrown out of every producer's office in New York and Hollywood and San Francisco and Boston. And I know that there's another Jeffrey from Massachusetts in life. And I'm telling you all, if you expect to make money the way you are going about it, you are not going to make a nickel. How much did you do today? And how many excuses did you make? I didn't say the Telegram, "Oh my God, my favorite newspaper in the world, the Daily Telegraph, threw me out of my butt. Get out!" Was I ever shocked? You better believe it. I had an education in those 60 seconds that never quit. When I was tossed out by every low-grade newspaper in the dwindling empire, I was furious. I was irritated. I was incandescent with rage. I couldn't believe it. I walked into the next one and got kicked out again. You people won't even raise a sweat. And you want to make money? I've got news for you. It ain't going to happen. If George Kosh offered his terms to me, you would have pulled your nose and walked down the path and said, "Get out of there as quickly as possible." That was over 23 years ago. And I stick it out. And it was the right decision. Why? Because the internet is going to change our lives in more ways than you can imagine. Everything in this world will be centered on the internet. And you tell me you are doing the work to establish money out of it, I tell you you're not. And you know, I'm feeling like Teddy Roosevelt, who said, I feel like a bull moose, he said. I'll feel like a bull moose too. I feel like 70 is the new 20. Dale, I'm going to get my butt kicked. I'm going to get a whole pile of negatives. Got a lot of idiots I'm going to have to deal with who are just plain stupid. And you know what? One of those people is my next opportunity and our next opportunity. Because the people that are good on the internet, I'll take with me. Forrest, George, and Sandy, and Dale, and all the people we're going to do this. We've got all the apparatus that they need. We are so ready for big time. And I mean 250 million. Do you know that Bruce Jenner, whether it's a man, woman, or vegetable, I don't care, got 250 million viewers the other night? 250 million viewers. I want more. By God, I'll make it happen. For those of you who are with me, tell me now. And don't tell me you can't do it because the dog's sick, because you got your problems. We got problems. My father's in the hospital right now. But you know what? He'd understand me being here, because he understands responsibility. He'd want me to be here and do this, because this is where the future is. And I'm telling you all this, when my book comes out, it'll be giving me the club that I need. I'm not going to, people say, who the hell are you? Here, read this and find out. Dale, I couldn't be more excited. We dropped a plateful of lava in front of me. We are ready for the next bit, the international bit. We are international. We are helping people worldwide. All we need to do is persuade one producer to give us one chance. And he's already got that marvelous example that we taped the other day. It was a knockout. And the producer's going to realize that it's a knockout. We're going to get one. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know what they're going to say in what terms. I don't care. We'll sit down and we'll make it happen. Dale, you watched me work for the last many years. You know this is going to happen. You know I don't know what I'm doing. You know I will learn to do what needs to be necessary. And I want to work with people who work with me and not come up with a million excuses. When you're 70 years old, you don't have time for other people's excuses. Dale, comment?
Absolutely true. You don't use excuses. Excuses doesn't make money. Excuses only helps you stay in your current situation. That does. It's much easier.
All right, I want Henry and Wade. Wade, are you ready to join us? Because I'm going to give you the top offer of the week. And this is the last day for this offer. And watch otherwise intelligent people across the world say, oh, you mean I have to work? You mean I have to invest? By God, you do. And I don't want to be around anybody who doesn't understand that. If you think that you can get away with it doing it for free, then go and do it for free somewhere else. So, Henry, are you with us? Wade, are you with us?
Wenda.
Then watch the video indeed.
So, Wenda, are you here?
Dale?
Are you ready to join us? And Henry, you need to watch the video. Click on the break green, watch
if
video.
If you're going to come up with an excuse, please take it elsewhere. I don't give excuses. I will not take excuses. Dale, you know I'm a very long-term thinker. And I knew that for the next step we need a book. Not just a book, but a brilliant book. It will change the whole publishing industry, and that book is now almost finished. We're literally a few hundred words away from finality of that. And I want to go in to a producer's office and say, here, this is who you're dealing with. Now, let's talk. What do you need me to do? Do you need me to prance naked across the screen? By God, I'll do it. I'm not going to be one of these people who says, I'll do it if, I'll do it when, and I'll do it. I'm going to do it. If there's a producer out there, you listen to me, I will do whatever is necessary to promote this idea, to the world, to every person here today. And those of you who will say in 5 years, well, I wish I followed Dr. Lant, I'll say you had your chance. Now, Henry, are you with us or not? All I required is a yes or no. Nice if you watch the video carefully. To be given another career at age 70 is a blessing that only can come from God and one's good hormones.
That's for sure.
And my target audience will be, among others, I want to talk to senior citizens who have taken it, who have become so pathetic. Don't be old and pathetic. Be old and mischievous. Be old and scheming. Be old and break rules. Go old, get old, and challenge the world. But don't sit there and tell me that you're old and gray. You're only as gray as your last shot of Grecian Formula 9. And I'm talking to you who say, tell me you're disabled. I'm tired that you're disabled. I got my own difficulties. Gail's got his own. Don't dump your disabilities on us. I don't even like the word. And I'm talking to people who are in all the world under governments that don't work. Countries that don't work. You have no economic system. You have no clean water. You have nothing. And don't you tell me that that's what you were put on this earth to do. God didn't put you here. If he put you in the mire, it was to get out of the mire. I'm tired of talking to all these people who've been burned on the net and say we're going to burn them. We've been doing this for 23 years. We've been totally translucent, transparent for 23 years. And don't take my word for it. Go to the Canadian Registrar of Corporations. There you'll find us with the perfect record. Don't believe me? Go to the Better Business Bureau of Canada. Look at our rating, the highest rating that there can be. Don't tell me that you've seen something like this down the road, because you haven't. I've been looking for 23 years for anybody. Is there intelligent life on this planet? Scotty, beam me up. As you see, now that my book is out, it will give me the power that I've wanted. Put it in people's hands and not spend all day working. And this is my motto. Any one of them, thousands of people who want to come and see me, as they will after reading this book, you're going to buy the book before I let you in the door. And I don't care whether you read it or not, but you're going to buy it. If I have to sit you in the corner or take your money out of your pocket myself, I'm going to do it. They're not going to come and see me and waste my time the way you waste other people's time. They're going to read the book. They're going to love this book. They're going to have to read it again because it's not a book for stupid people. It's a book for smart people. So, Dale, a lot of changes are going to happen across the next few months. And I want to make sure that these smart people are with us. Comes this petunia patch. Don't go away. You're coming back up to financial scale, as always.
All right, Dr. Lant. It's good to see you in full gear here again and revitalized again from near completion of your book. It's just pumped new life and energy into you. It's excellent, and I'm excited to see where this is going to take us here on the route for the live reality TV. So pretty exciting, and you have shown...
We need one little break.
Yeah.
We need one producer somewhere. We need one producer that gets it.
Yeah. Runs with the idea. Takes the idea and runs with it. And that's all it takes. And you've shown that you have the persistence and determination and grit that this will happen. And there's no doubt in my mind. And I'm excited. And if people want to...
You've got to be able... You've got to be willing to fail to get success.
That's right. And if people want to catch some replays of our Anything Goes programs, they're up on the YouTube channel Patrice Porter, and earlier ones on the YouTube channel Pat Porter. And also there's some up on our World Profit Tube at www.worldprofittube.com. And check out my home business central I set up here at World Profit at www.20waystoprofit.com. And also I help people create abundance by gardening at www.gardeningforfoodsecurity.com. And I'm excited as we move into a new era here. And with that, I'm going to say my adieus until the next Anything Goes, 1 p.m. Eastern. Bye for now.
Let me tell you something.
One-time offer.
You know that I am a tenacious, indefatigable, absolutely obnoxious person to be involved with, because I nudge you, and I don't give up, and I don't listen to dopes. And I remind everyone that I am a Harvard man, and the famous quote, you could always tell a Harvard man, you just can't tell him very much. So I imagine somehow tying in the new reality television program that feeds right in here to the Live Business Center. And anyone who doesn't get it, is going to get out. I'm for having a waiting list to get in on the screen to talk to us. I see more closure for people who don't want to do the work. And if they don't want to do the work, then they're going to get mashed by me, girl. I'll want them stupid people to be shown as being stupid and lazy, slothful, completely useless human beings. And I'll raise my voice for that. And boy, will the ratings flourish. Every time we were at a food fight, Anything Goes, the ratings go up. Well, let's look at Bruce Jenner. 250 million viewers. But what did he do? He told people that he was getting carved up. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to know what that is worth. 200 million viewers. I say more power to him. And we will deal with people all over the world. We will be the first reality television program to deal with the world. And I mean the whole bloody world. And they're going to be pre-screened. I'm not going to let anyone on the screen who is a dweeb, a knucklehead, a dope. They can go to Dope City up in the top right-hand corner. What do you think about that, Dale? No dopes need apply. You know, the essence of entrepreneurialism is adaptation to change. It's never pleasant, it's never easy, but it's necessary. Now, Juanita, I need to hear from you now. If you don't want to speak to me, that's fine. Then get out. Dale, any last words for the folks? As you see, I gave you my persistence article. Top of Fleet Street, young and cocky, kicked out in his butt by people. And I was there with my favorite newspaper too, Dale. I love the Telegraph until that moment. If you expect success, expect to get beat up along the way. And that's the way it is.
That success was easy, everybody would be successful. That's what most people want, is the easy.
Of course they want it. What is wanting it? It's what you're prepared to do. I was prepared to be humiliated in my chosen field. Why? Because it was necessary to figure out who was going to ignore me from those that didn't. Anyway, if anyone knows any agents in Hollywood, send them our way. There's a lot of money in it for that. Don't think you're not doing them a big favor, because you are. They get 10-15% of the gross. That's pretty good money, Dale. 10-50% of me? Wow. That's quite a little totting up. It's coins, you say. And all they have to do is go and prostitute themselves. Say, you know that land, here's all those people who will profit. There's money there, boy. There's money there. You wait till this book comes out tomorrow. Probably still 60 days away from publication. Now that the text is basic, I have one little anecdote to write, and then it's done. And I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to do it now. So, I hereby declare anything goes closed for this day. And I put a hex on all of you. Get off your Rumpelstiltskin, get out, boogie. If you won't do that, then for God's sake, stay out of the way. There's an old Harvard expression. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. You choose which category you're in. And I chose mine, Gail chose his. We chose right.